Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's continue the sugya that we started yesterday. Yesterday, we started just a small akdama in the idea of Hadlokas, Haneiros of Shabbos Kodesh. And the reason we did that is because, first of all, we need to know the halachas. But more than anything else, it's one of those halachas, as we said yesterday, that like, oh, it's not negayah to me because I'm a boch in yeshiva. I don't need to know hilchas halachas Haneiros. So number one, we pointed out yesterday that's not true. Even a boch in yeshiva needs to know the halachas of Haneiros because it's negayah to him every single week, whether he's in yeshiva or he goes away for Shabbos, whether he rents an Airbnb or whether he's staying at a family member for Shabbos. There's an absolute chiyuv, as we read the Shulchan Aruch yesterday, right? Menachem, we read the Shulchan Aruch that said clearly, it doesn't make a difference, man and women are both chayiv in Hadlokas Haneiros. Avada women have a kedima, which I said yesterday, the Mishnah Berurah says that it could be if the husband says, I would like to light this week, the wife can say no, shayla if he does light, what has the halacha, or not for now. But on Koponim, there's no shayla that a man has a chiyuv, a boch in yeshiva has a chiyuv, and the question is, and we're going to get there, Be'ez Hashem, in the coming shiurim, how can we fulfill that obligation of Hadlokas Haneiros when I'm a boch in yeshiva and I go away for Shabbos? What do I have to do? Do I have to take candles with me wherever I go? How does it work? We'll discuss that, Be'ez Hashem. Also, of course, Nageya, because Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, you guys are going to get married, Be'ita Bismana, all at the right time, Be'ez Hashem. As soon as we persuade her to say yes, then Be'ez Hashem, you will get married, and you're going to have to know these halachas. Your wife's going to say to you, hello, what do you know about these halachas, right? Oh, I don't know, I know halachas boira. I never learned Hadlokas Haneiros before.
She knows it because she was in seminary.
Yeah, but she asks her husband, and she wants her husband to know these halachas. Oh yeah.
Maybe she knows it.
Okay, so Rabbi said that was, yesterday was a bit of a hagdama. We spoke about the inyan of davening by the neighbors. We spoke about the schus that women have for davening by the Heilige Haneiros, what they can accomplish, what they can do in that time. It's amazing. Now, what I want to discuss is why. What is the reason for the takana? What's the reason that there's a mitzvah of Hadlokas Haneiros Shabbos for Shabbos? Like, what's the purpose of it? What's the reason that they were masakin it? What's the pshat? So we have be'etzem two Yesodus from the Gemara. Why? There's an inyan, there's a mitzvah of Hadlokas Haneiros Shabbos. Number one, the mitzvah of kovod v'oinig Shabbos. Reason, I'll get to where this comes from. Reason number two is mishum shalom bayis. Okay, so these are the two main reasons that we find in Chazal, that the Gemara tells us, for the purpose of the mitzvah of Hadlokas Haneiros Shabbos Kodesh. Let's start number one. The mitzvah of kovod v'oinig Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos Chofem Beis tells us, as I mentioned yesterday, Hadlokas Haneiros Shabbos Choiva. There's an obligation for a person to light candles for the Heilige Shabbos Kodesh. Zukt Rashi, what's the reason? What's the pshat? What's the purpose? Zukt Rashi mishum kovod Shabbos. And Rashi explains a few reasons, it brings different Gemaras, that it's kovod Shabbos. When you have a Suda, for example, it's nice to light candles. For example, and we'll discuss this, by the way, in a very important nafkemina lahalocha lemaisa, how nowadays it could be that the electric lights in your dining room are more choshev than the candles that you're actually lighting, because that's actually what provides illumination. Your candles don't really provide illumination, your lights do. So we'll discuss what that means. There's a famous shulchan about it, or Chaim no. There's a lot of different shitas, and we're going to have to learn how to do it properly to make sure we're carrying the mitzvah in the proper way. But upon him, Rashi brings down that it's covered a Suda to have Neiris Mimela. Coming along soon, kovod Shabbos Kodesh to have a Suda. Man, I want to make sure there's candles. As I state in Rashi. Rashi brings another pshat. He brings also a Gemara in Yuma Daf Ayin Hey that says that a Suma, Rachmana Litzlan, someone that's blind, is never satisfied with his food. Rashi brings a Gemara that says that when a person doesn't see that which he's eating, he doesn't get that satisfaction. And therefore, when you have candles, which again, Bisman Chazal, that was the light, that was the only source of illumination, Mela, that's the reason why it's important for a person to have on Shabbos Kodesh light, so he could see what he's eating, to get satisfaction, to get covered Shabbos. So Rashi seems to learn, Rabbeinu Yerucham learns that way, the Smag learns that way, it's all covered Shabbos. Tosfos over there, which is not only a Tosfos, it's also a Rosh, it's also Ran, it's also Sheboy Leleket as well. Tosfos learns it's Oinig Shabbos, not covered, it's Oinig. So you'll say to me, my nafkamina, if it's covered in Oinig. So just Stam Agav, I don't want to go into this because it's not really like so much halacha and ma'isa, but what's the nafkamina between covered and oinig Shabbos? I mean, theoretically, the nafkamina would be if the candle was lit before Shabbos, not the covered Shabbos. Stam. The lights went out. I want candles. So I did a couple. We had that once in yeshiva. Remember? Friday night. It was before Shabbos, Baruch Hashem. Right before Shabbos, the electric went out. So we quickly took out some candles. We put them around. The only one here. Remember that? We had a Zak Kabbalah Shabbos with the candles. It was beautiful. Mamish Gavaldik. Chazdei Hashem. It was a beautiful Kabbalah Shabbos. Anyway, so they lit a candle for that purpose, and they realized, oh, Shabbos is coming. So I didn't light it for Shabbos. So if it's the covered, right? If it's else covered, the reason it's covered, so I have to light it. I have to relight it. Why? Look, covered Shabbos. I have to light the covered Shabbos, not to cover the darkness. But if it's oineg, meaning I can enjoy my food, say this, I can enjoy my food. So nafkamina would be if I have to relight it or not. Aga, by the way, another nafkamina and cover v'oinig. It's just an interesting kasha. I remember discussing this at Barichas with Agoin Agadol Rafalk Zatzel. What happens if you buy yourself a brand new pair of Shabbos shoes? See now how it is, right? You buy a new pair of Shabbos shoes, heavy, and the first time you put them on sometimes, it's not very comfortable. You know how it is, right? Until you get into the leather, until it works in. Remember what I'm talking about? It's not comfortable the first couple of times. So the first Shabbos, you're wearing these beautiful, brand new Shabbos shoes. It's gorgeous, but it's so uncomfortable. Hesky, what do you say? Als covered Shabbos, it's avada covered Shabbos, because beautiful covered Shabbos shoes for Shabbos. Als oinig, it's very uncomfortable. So which one wins? Covered Shabbos or oinig Shabbos? Or let's say even when I come home, I don't want to wear my shoes. I want to kick off my shoes. I want to put on my slippers. I want to put on my Crocs. Much more comfortable. Als covered Shabbos, it could be better that my Shabbos shoes remain on. Covered Shabbos. Als oinig Shabbos, enjoyment of Shabbos, I would say that the Crocs win. Or even, let's say another kasha. Let's say, for example, you want to decide between using real silverware, real plates, or chadpami, or disposables. Als covered Shabbos, there's no shaila. Covered Shabbos, real stuff. Avada, beautiful glassware and silverware, like nice stuff. Avada, covered Shabbos. Als oinig Shabbos, I don't want to wash up so much. So maybe oinig Shabbos told me to use the paperware. Ilan, what are you saying now? You hear the kasha though. You hear the shikol over here. What's going on, right? So I asked, I go to Rafal Zatzal, which one wins? And he said to me as follows: there's a Beis Halevi, Ma'amar Komis for this, there's Gavaldik. Give a whole shit just on covered and oinig. But Rafal Zatzal told me that covered Shabbos is before, oinig Shabbos is on. So in a Hanami, to buy the Shabbos shoes to wear them before Shabbos, that's covered Shabbos. One Shabbos comes in and it's uncomfortable, or for example, the case of the plastic wear, whatever it may be, then in a Hanami, it could be that als oinig Shabbos would win on Shabbos, and therefore you should take off your shoes and wear your Crocs in that case. Anyway, I don't know how we got onto that, but let's move on. So that is according to Rashi and according to Tosfos. Covered v'oinig Shabbos to have candles. Comes along the Gemara Shabbos Chav Gimel on the base, and the Gemara says like this. The Gemara asks a kasha. What happens if a person only has money for one mitzvah? He has a choice: Ner Shabbos or Ner Chanukah. Right? It's Shabbos Chanukah coming up in a few weeks. Be'ezus Hashem Yisbarach, it's going to be Shabbos Chanukah. I have a choice. A guy has enough money to buy Haneiros for Chanukah candles or Haneiros for Shabbos candles. Zuk the Gemara Mefurish Gemara Chav Gimel on the base of Shabbos. Look it up. Avada Shabbos comes first. Why? Mishum Sholem Beisai. Sholem Bias. Zuk Rashi. What is this? Like a lesson in Sholem Bias to make sure that everything goes well on Shabbos Kodesh. Zuk Rashi. No. The reason is Kedei Shelo Yikoshel Be'etz Oy Be'even. Zuk Rashi. When a person has no lights in his home and it's dark, he will trip. He will stumble. It will cause a mess in the house. And therefore, Zuk Rashi over here, it's also a Madcha, it's also Lavush and others as well, that the reason why Haneiros Shabbos is because of Sholem Beisai, which means you want to have peace in the home, excuse me, and therefore because of that, that's the reason. Now, Lemaisa, we paskin like both reasons. Right? Not that they make a major nafkamina alocha lemaisa, although there are nafkaminas. We paskin like both. That the reason that we have Shabbos candles is both covered v'oinig and also mishum sholem beisai. If any of you learned the Zohar Parshas Bereshis a couple of weeks ago, you will have noticed over there that he says over there that on Shabbos Kodesh the Neshama Yisera comes down in order, Zuk the Zohar Kodesh, to honor the Neshama Yisera that we have on Shabbos. We light extra candles. So the Zohar seems to give us another reason why we light Shabbos candles is for that purpose specifically, Chesky, right? Another purpose that we have is also, and this is brought down the Siach Yitzchak brings this reason also and others, Erev Shabbos, The Gemara tells us this. Erev Shabbos is prone to machlokes and arguments between husband and wife, and therefore they were misaken specifically the candles to help with the shalom bayis, to help with the tranquility in the home in that case. So that's the reason why we have the candle. At least we understand the reason why we have the candles. What we have to move on to Be'ezus Hashem tomorrow, B'siyata D'Shmaya, is we have to discuss the number of candles, what to use for candles, and then we'll move on to the place that candles should be lit. We'll talk about hotels and things like that, Rahman al-Islam, the things that go on in these places, and then we'll talk about what a bocha could do to Bekar the Minig, in yeshiva, out of yeshiva, Be'ez Hashem. Join us tomorrow for continuation. Have an amazing day.